Queens fam, welcome back to my channel. How are we doing, queens and kings? If you stopping by, before we get into this finale of season 2, or maybe it's a break, I don't know. Maybe, you know how sometimes we do that break of the finale. They do like 2 parts to each season, so it was 10 episodes. That may be the entire season 2. I think so, because from what I've seen and read, I think that was it. But it was a doozy to end a season with. So before we get started, I like this video, comment. Let's get into the conversation because there's a lot to reflect on. But I'll try to sum it up as quick as possible, and definitely subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any future content. So let's get into it. It was a very intense season. And this particular episode, it made me think about the first episode of the season and this last one, episode 10. The first and the 10th were really heartfelt. It really got into Zach's history, his vulnerability, and you got to see why Zach's life has unfolded the way it did. It really had me in tears. It really had me upset, had me worried, and the whole dynamics of their relationship, because it really lets you see how both sides, Fatima and Zach, before they make a Zatima, they got some healing to do. I don't know, I might miss the order. Normally I try to keep in an order by scenes, but I'm gonna get in here. But we know how it left off last week, right? The brother brought Zach's mother to the door, and she was beat up. We didn't know what happened. Last video I had said that, I don't trust the mom or the brother. I don't know if he purposely did this to her to drag her over to Zach's house so she can get more of his money. They can get more of his money, and he can stay there, because they always seem to be scheming. But it looks like the brother's just fed up, don't want to deal with her and what she's been going through. She fell down. It seems like something that she's done in the past because of her drug problem. And so she came to the door all beat up, and Zach was like, oh my God. And you can tell he was really traumatized over this, seeing his mom like this, but more so embarrassed because the woman he loves is seeing his mom like this. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, like episode 1, and they were, he was crying in the car because mom took his $100 and left the grocery store. But it's another thing, and then she wanted to be with him in the car and not leave, and she said, I'm gonna be here for you. And he cried on her shoulder, and that was a heartfelt episode. But now to actually see his mother and see the condition that she's in, it's a lot, because he still has all of that raw pain from when he was a child, 7 years old, as we learned from when he had the conversation with the doctor, right? So he was like, mom, and he's breaking down crying. And again, shout out to my boy DeVal Ellis. You played that role, brother. Your range is getting better and better every episode, so kudos. You really did this, brother. You really, really acted this part. So yeah, I had to commend you on that. And it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot going on, and he was so hurt. And it's like, Ma, he's worried. Like, I'm tired of seeing you like this. And it's a combination of, I don't want to lose you, and it's getting so bad and worse that it's bringing him back to his childhood. So the brother, they was like, help me with her. What you gonna do? And bro was like, listen, you gonna deal with it now. And he lit his cigarette, whatever, and bounced. So Fatima is looking like, oh God, like how can she help? Because she like probably feel like defenseless. And mom didn't know what she was. She was coming to, and she was like, oh, who is this? Oh, Zach, baby, is you or whatever. Then he was like, then she looked at Fatima, was like, who is you? Oh, this B who keeping you away from me and your mother. I don't like you. I ain't never liked light-skinned girls or whatever. What other girl that you was with or whatever? And she mentioned Karen. That was a very awkward situation, I know, for Fatima to hear that. But that's mom. I mean, Zach been with her for 3 years. She knows Karen. They probably, had a relationship. and Karen understands what she's been going through. And, you know, this is new. And Zach has money now with the new girl, so of course she's going to look like the enemy, the mom. But that's not the case. So, you know, I guess Fatima just went on with that. And so his thing is getting her to the hospital. So they get to the hospital. He really don't want Fatima there because he's totally embarrassed and he's hurt. And because Fatima, you know, he met her mother and they seem to see pretty sophisticated lady and well-to-do. And, you know, same thing with Fatima. She's very, even though she's a little crazy, but you can tell she's from a good family. She's really put together and classy. And looking at his situation, it's like, it's almost embarrassing. Here's my mother, you know my life, you know, you dealt with me through the jail, all of this, and I love you, I want to marry you. But now it's like there's a magnifying glass being held up to Zach, to him, Fatima. Looking at his life is almost like, now, like, how could I have ever thought that I could have a normal life with this wonderful woman, and with this situation I'm still dealing with, who will want me like this? So now it's almost like that inferiority and that doubt and insecurities are all rushing down on Zach. And they at the hospital. He doesn't even want Fatima there with him. And when your woman is trying to give you support, but I get that, but I don't want you here to see this mess with me. But this is what a relationship is about, Zach. You have to deal with the pain of the past, because if she's going to be a part of your life, she has to see the good, bad, and the ugly. And you have to see all parts of each other. And neither one of you can, you know, ignore what's going on in your life and think you're going to have a healthy relationship and then cover up and mask the ugly part and just show the good part, your money, your businesses. See, that part of Zach now is what he can share with Fatima. But he doesn't want to bring Fatima into the world of how he was prior. Before the money. And that's the ugly part that he can't see. So right now he's going through all this turmoil of embarrassment. So he basically told Fatima to go. I told you not to be here. I didn't like the fact that he was so nasty when she's just trying to support you. But it's the ghost of his past. And now it's like he can't see Fatima in this world. He can't see. That's the danger now of Connie coming in, because Connie knows that side of him. And this is where that comfort is and that acceptance. And Fatima being in this ugly world of his life is not sitting well with him. So she doesn't know what to do. And he's sitting up there now angry, worried about mom. So she gets back on the phone to call a therapist. And I understand, you know, Fatima feeling like she don't know what to do. And she's trying to heal him and find the best way. But all this behind his back, bringing this man into the situation, is making Zach more angry. But brother said, you know, he's embarrassed. Like she's trying to tell him that he's pushing me away. He doesn't want me here. He was like, because he, you know, he's basically embarrassed of the situation. She said, yeah, that's what he said. So does he want me down there? She's probably like, hell no. He wouldn't if I told him. But he said he gonna come. So he went there. Now, in the meantime, you got old girl Angela. She let Bryce stay over because he was drinking too much, you know, at the house, at the dinner that they had at Zach and Fatima's place. So, you know, he was too much to drink, so she let him sleep on the couch. And he wanted to apologize again. She was like, that's okay. And he's still trying to shoot his shot and thinking that, you know, she can forgive him and it can, you know, he can get back with her. But she was like, no, she just did a good deed, Bryce. So there you go pushing again. No, she's not with it. But he thanked her and she left. And then she got on the phone with Fatima to find out what happened. And she explained, like, you know, you told him, you know, Zach ain't gonna like that. And what was going on. So, you know, Angela be like, okay, okay. And I'll be like, we have yet to really see the depths, I think, of Angela's jealousy with that relationship, why she may not want that relationship, why she may still want Fatima to be in that situation with her, where relationships not working. So, like I said in the past, misery loves company. And sometimes when you got the drama with relationships, you want your girls to have the drama relationships too, because they doing so good just makes you look at how messed up your situation may be. So I don't really think that any of her friends was really that happy for her with her and Zach, and always been suspicious. But I mean, when you look at it on the other side too, because I try to be fair, with the situation that Zach is in, you can see why a friend would want him to proceed, with caution. You got these 2 baby mamas, he's been in jail. All these things just not looking good. And everything that she's experienced, she shares everything with Angela. So she's looking like, you crazy for putting up with all this nonsense in a short period of time. And it does look crazy. It does look crazy, and it looks toxic, and it doesn't look healthy. So, but at the same time, I still don't trust the genuineness of Angela as a friend. Even though she's always there, I think she's always there for her own benefit as well. But a good friend, sharing that video with Melinda, all this other stuff she's done in the past, somebody sent her a picture of Karen and Zach kissing, is still, I don't forget any of that. That's neither here nor there right now. We have yet to discover. Okay, but she told her, yeah. So now Zach's at the hospital, and the doctor comes and tells her, she'll be okay. Told him the situation with her. Look like she's on drugs. I think she mentioned the track marks or whatever. But we're gonna watch her because her head was damaged. She probably bumped it when she fell. So they want to wait a couple hours, but they said after that she can leave. So it's like, okay, now meanwhile the doctor comes in, and Zach is like, oh my God. And I'm like, this ain't gonna be good. So he says, I know you don't want to hear what I'm saying, but bro was trying to be gentle with him and, take his time. Now, Zach, and this is with a lot of men, is like, okay, he started to listen. He was answering the doctor's questions. But it's like when you start to get too close and start to feel too vulnerable, a lot of times with our black men, you hitting that point that now that ego got to come back, and then you got to snap out of it. Like, don't be trying to fix me, and who do you think you are type thing. And let's not forget, this is a friend of the guy that was pushing up on Fatima, which he made that be very known. So I don't trust you anyway, because I think you trying to make me look like crap so your boy can get with my lady. So that's in the back of the head. But for a minute, he got Zach, and he started asking, do you feel, I understand what you mean. And Zach didn't think that he could relate. First of all, you don't know this doctor's past and what he's been through before he became a doctor. You don't know what he may have experienced in his family with his mother or father. And so there's a lot you don't know. And maybe getting into this career may have been, that's why he has compassion with black men, and he works with them because of what he experienced. So he said, when did this happen, as far as, you always feel like you losing, when you winning, it goes away. And he said at 7. And so the doctor basically, in a nutshell, told him, that 7-year-old boy, when all this started unraveling with your mother, stuff not going right, all these problems with her. We know in episode 1 what he shared, seeing his mother prostituting out there, that was really traumatizing for him. So it's like when he gets something, it doesn't last. So he sabotages it before anything really happens, because he doesn't feel that he can be loved, because his mother never left him. Everybody's going to leave me. No one's going to love me. If something good happens to me, it's going to be taken away. And this is what he does, and he wrecks it before it happens. And this is real. This is why therapy is so important for us, just as black people, especially in general, with the trauma from our history in this country brought here to what was happened to us during slavery. That post-traumatic slave drama is real. That trauma is real, and it's a PTSD that not too many people can relate to as a people. When we had everything stripped away from us, then our families divided, and the traumas we get just because of the situation in society, always trying to catch up, always trying to find a way to always just try to keep up with everybody that's 10 steps ahead of us. And it's always, many of us can relate. It seems like we can never win. We'll always be behind in this rat race of life compared to everyone else. So then you have to deal with our family and the circumstances of what we've been going through, and a lot of our homes being broken or just dysfunctional, and a lot of things. And I'm not saying no other race is done with this, but the history of us, plus what we deal with personally, It's a lot. It's a lot. And so this is something that we constantly have to heal from, to try to get whole and try to get sane and come back to a state of being that God intends for us to be. So it was a lot. And so he was really getting to Zach, and Zach was breaking down. He was crying. He was getting, and then after a while, he just blew up on the guy. You know, he had to snap out of that because it was taking him to a dark place. But we have to reach that dark place in order to see the light. And I'm hoping Zach would give himself grace to go through all the bad and continue with some therapy with his brother and get past the ego or who the help came from, but get to it so he can have a healthy relationship for Fatima, because it's not going to work. And you know how he's spiraling out of control now because of mom is traumatic. So that didn't work. And so he wound up getting rid of the doctor. And so that was over with. So when he left, then the friends came to the hospital along with Connie. And, you know, he accepted them because they're part of his past. They know his history. He's comfortable with them. And they sat there and supported, and he appreciated it. And then Connie came there like old times. What happened? Had that conversation with her. Oh, I didn't know Miss, what was her name? I forgot Zach's mom's name. But Miss so-and-so, I forgot her name. I didn't know she was bad still like that, and blah, blah, blah. So after a while, he immediately put his head on Connie, and like, that's where he found his peace. That's where he found that old familiar place that he can resort back to from his past. So she was like, of course you want to get Zach again. So after they, you know, he was talking to Tony and Nate, she was like, you know, I got him, y'all can go. And then he was like, yeah, I'm fine or whatever, and let her stay. And I'm like, really? And Tony know deep down inside that wasn't a good look. He knows it. And so but Nate messy self is like, yeah, okay, she got him, because that's what he want. So they left. She said she heard about it because they was all out playing cards or whatever. And so she came with them. So they leave, and in walks Fatima. I'm like, holy crap. She like, what the F is going on? And he gets up like, she's like, who this be or whatever, excuse his fiance or whatever. Oh, this her. So they have their little words, and he introduced them. Connie, this is, you know, an old friend from back in the day. She was like, I know who she is. And, you know, give their little introductions. I guess Zach told a little bit about her, but Connie didn't know about Fatima really, other than she was engaged. So now it's like Zach is doing so good, you know, Connie wants to get him back. So Fatima not trying to hear it, because now this is just now a mirror, magnifying glass being held up to her face with her past. So she's like, what, this is where you want to be? Then this is where you be. Don't worry about me. You know, because they were supposed to be having this, you know, dinner with her parents. So she like had already got changed, and I guess she was coming there to find out how everything was going. Was he still gonna come or whatever? And that's when she sees this. So she get pissed and she bounces. And so of course it's like, oh my God. So Zach now is upset with that, and Connie wants him to go back home with her, and you know, he not trying to hear that, even though he fighting it and probably wants to. He, you know, it's that devil and that angel on Zach now. He dealing with all this with his mom, but then also with the relationship with him and Fatima, and now here go Connie, and it's just so much. So the doctor comes and lets him know, oh, y'all still here? And he was like, what do you mean you still here? Oh, your mother been left. What? He like, damn, are you kidding me? I'm like, come on, Ma. She bounced. She bounced. She left the hospital. They waiting for her. He like, I can't deal with this no more. And that's what old girl wanted to get him. You know, we could deal with this at my house. You know, like, you need me type thing. Forget your fiance. Grimy. You don't need this right now. And this is where that vulnerability and that state is where all types of negativity can grab a hold of you if you're not strong enough. And this is like about to spiral out of control, because Zach is in a very dark place. And so he was like, no, I can't, and walked away. So I guess, you know, they went on they separate ways, and Fatima's at the house with her parents, and they like, is he coming? And she like, I don't know. you know, let's just go eat or whatever, because she don't really feel like he's coming, and she already saw what went down at the hospital. And I really didn't think Zach was coming. But the doorbell rings and in he comes. So he has this big chip on his shoulder. Mom goes in. What she discovered on him, he was like, yeah, I'm Zach or whatever. And dad started asking questions, and they basically get, you know, I heard you was incarcerated, son, or whatever. He was like, yeah, what, you know, breaking and entering or something. I think some B&E armed robbery type stuff. And dad's whole thing, seems to be a little bit more compassionate than mom. Mom goes right in with this attitude, and dad just like, did you learn something, son? He was like, well, I don't know. Because see, now is the discomfort of the unfamiliarity. You know, you got Connie in the streets and his whole hood life and this drama with his mother, brother, and all that. That's a whole nother life. But then now you come and it just shows him looking more like a failure, or more like he's not good enough, because you got this nice home, nice parents that's together, you know, really sophisticated, classy people, seem well to do, and then you got Fatima, and that is showing a level of discomfort now. So we tend to fall back into where we feel safe, comfortable, and accepted. And right now, he's not feeling none of that in this house. So he's like, I don't know. You got some nice stuff here. I don't know if I learned my lesson. I'm like, Zach, come on, don't be disrespectful to the people. And so Fatima is like really already on edge on what the family gonna say. But now you got Zach showing out. So he's like, yeah, okay. So he told him the situation, and he said something, and he cursed, and mom said, wait a minute, watch your mouth in here or whatever. So basically he was like, you know, I guess like, I'm not, I guess there's a problem with me, because what Fatima did, you know, was she were old boy, and the whole therapist situation, and how she got somebody, I guess, to give him some help. So he pissed off with her in that whole situation, because I know that wasn't gonna fall right with he never really talked and addressed her calling the therapist to the hospital. So now he went in on that. The guy Paul in the elevator, all of that is come tumbling down. And so Fatima's like, this is not the place for that. And so he ready to blow up, and it's starting to get ugly. And then you know, he basically can't take it no more. He got to get up out of the interrogation from the parents. He got to leave Fatima, who he's pissed off with. He's upset because the mom already left the hospital. Then you got Connie tempting him. It was just overload, and he had to get up out of that house. And so he left, and then before he walks out, he was like, you better lock your door, something slick, because I know where you live. And I'm like, so now he just wants to play to his whole life. Like, if people gonna always look at me like a loser or hold my past against me, I'm gonna give them what they ask for. And so he played to that whole role, like, you know, once I guess, a burglar or robber, always one. And so it was just to piss them off and Fatima, and he left. And I'm like, Zach. And he told her, oh God, how he put it to her. And she was like, Zach, don't do nothing stupid, because, you know, what he was saying was basically like, it gave a subtle hint, like he may just go on, you know, back to where he been, or with Connie. And Fatima was like, don't go there. Like, don't do nothing stupid. So he left. And so mom is just like, you know, dad already said, you know, I've been with you since you was 9. You know, I know you smart. You know, I love you and all of this. And he sees the hurt and turmoil that she's going through. And mom was like, I seen that. You deserve better. It's like, I've been through that. You know, I went through that with your father, did everything. I couldn't help him. You don't need this. And mom sees herself in Fatima. She doesn't want that for her, especially when you experience that. So as a mother, I could get it. I think it was just so harsh all at one time. They could have been a little bit more subtle in their approach on how they handled Zach, especially what he just went through with his mother. Now, I don't know if Fatima told him all that and had a conversation about that beforehand. If she did, they should have been a little bit more sensitive. Like, can you wait and do that after dinner? Just, how you doing? What is it you do now? Not right off the bat with the interrogation. Like, that was just bad timing. You could have did a nice conversation over dinner or what have you, and it not been so bad because Zach was already not in the right mindset. So Fatima winds up leaving. She goes home. Um, Already probably worried where Zach is. They hanging out. Zach and Connie and Tony and Nate are in the building playing cards like they said before. So I guess that was true. When it all went down, they went back in front of the building playing cards or whatever. So Zach rolls up and he says, "Excuse me, can I talk to you?" And he takes Connie and go around the corner. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard correctly, Tony said something about Tony or Nate mentioned like Connie. They heard like she doing something with drugs too. Like she not too good. Like she might be involved with that too. And that's when they was like, oh, Nate was looking some kind of way. And Tony was like, oh no, that was a bad move. Because I think they mentioned, I think she out there doing stuff like that too, which is not a good move. So you don't know what really, if they went to talk, if he wanted to go actually do something with her, whatever the case may be. But he left around there, and now they both, his boy's uncomfortable. Like that may have been a bad move. First of all, you should never brought her up to the hospital, and now this is going to be a problem. So when Fatima's at home, the mother doorbell rings and his mom, or knock at the door. The mom's there. She looking for Zach. I know he should have been here by now because I already saw him. He was with Connie at the build. I'm like, yikes. Now this is the thing. The way mom put it, she could have rolled up. Tony or Nate could have said, he went around there talking to Connie, not like she actually heard or saw them having sex. So the way she put it was to piss Fatima off because she don't like her. So I don't know necessarily if Zach actually did something. He could have had a conversation and stopped it and be like, I gotta leave. I don't believe that he would, because the timing to me, if he really got into something with her, I think he would have been there a little bit longer. I don't know how much time transpired, but even if he didn't do nothing, he's at a point now where he wants Fatima to think he did something because he's just that hurt. So mom said that, and then Zach rolls in at the same time, and now Fatima's looking like, what she mean? You was with Connie back at the house, and so now all this done blew up. She came, she just wanted some money. Both of them like, no, they ain't gonna give her none. So she pissed off. She winds up leaving because mom is about her hustle. Listen, you ain't here to give me the money. What I'm sticking around for? Because I'm gonna go out there and do what I gotta do to get some. I'm like, Mom, you just got out the hospital, so it's no stopping her. So, yeah, so now him and Fatima are going at it. And Fatima is like, excuse me, did you F that bitch? And he just looking at her crazy. And she was like, okay, Zach, then I'm out. And I'm like, Zach, did you, bro? I'm still trying to give you better credit than that. Did you? But pain and insecurities and inadequacy can have you spiraling out of control, doing some really stupid stuff when your head is not in the right place. And his mom, you may have, that's your mom and you love her to death, but mom has to want help. And she is going to destroy your life if you don't get a hold of it. And, the therapist brother tried to tell him, but, his pride won't let him hear it. And now it's a bad situation. But at the same time, Fatima, you do run, and you got some things to deal with too. So I hope next season, when it comes back, we find out that Zach didn't do anything, and he actually goes back to get therapy. Talk to that brother or somebody else, or ask for another recommendation. But both of them need their individual counseling, and they definitely need to do couples counseling, because at this point, I don't see it working out unless some serious intervention on both parts happens. So that was a really heated, intense finale. Cannot wait till they return, and we see a better direction for one of our favorite couples. Should they be together, or should they take their time apart to heal and work it out? What you think? Put it in the comments about this whole crazy season finale. And family, take care of yourselves, because mental health is so, so important. We all have stuff to work on within ourselves, and we're going to have a healthy future. We got to heal from the past. So remember, stay authentically you. Get better. Self-care and self-love is paramount. And live the life you deserve. Healthy. Peace. Until next time.